Joining us now is former Undersecretary of State Nicholas Burns. He's also a professor of diplomacy and international politics at Harvard. Good to have you with us again this morning. As we just heard, Secretary Clinton said told the rebels they need to plan for this post-Gaddafi world, that she would hope to see an inclusive government. How much planning do you think has actually gone into this on the part of the rebels so that they are, in fact, prepared to take over if and when Gaddafi leaves?
Well, I think the rebels have been unified, obviously, in confronting this tyrant, Gaddafi, and confronting him militarily. That's one thing. It's going to be much more difficult to be able to now organize effective government operations throughout a very vast country. Lots of the infrastructure in the major cities has been destroyed. There's a great deal of poverty in the country. And as you know, Erica, one of Gaddafi's hallmarks over 42 years, he played one tribe in that tribal-based society off against another. The rebels have to unite the country politically, provide government services to a country that hasn't had it. That's a very tall order. I think we can expect this to be a fairly chaotic, very uneven, and unfortunately, perhaps even violent couple of weeks ahead as remaining outposts of Gaddafi supporters continue to struggle against this new rebel government.
How much input do you think there will be, and in fact, should there be, from other nations, including the U.S.?
Well, I think that the international community, the European countries that are closest to Libya, the United States and other countries can certainly provide political support, perhaps even some short-term economic support. But this is going to be a battle that has to be won, the battle to reconstitute a government by the Libyans themselves, the Libyan people. They have to want to unify around this rebel government. There is, a presumption that this government is more favorable to the eastern part of the country, to Benghazi, where that movement has been centered for the last 6 months. So that they're going to have to work hard, that new rebel leadership, to convince people in the south, the center, the west, and some of the Gaddafi strongholds, including his hometown, that they mean well and that there won't be reprisals against those civilians who supported Gaddafi in the past.
And what about, we've seen the circle around Gaddafi crumbling for months now. This hour, this morning, we're told not really clear where he is. Of course, we know a little bit more about some of the inner folks in his circle who have been taken or who have left. How much of a threat does Gaddafi actually pose at this point?
Well, it's very significant that 3 of his sons, including Saif Islam al-Gaddafi, have been arrested. They're very powerful. And he was not really in day-to-day control of the government. Some of his sons were. But this could be a Saddam Hussein-like situation where he hides for weeks or months and isn't found. He might try to lead a military insurgency against this new government. And so obviously, if all of us want to see an end of the bloodshed as quickly as possible, arresting Gaddafi, deposing him as quickly as possible is going to be a very, very high priority for the next couple of days for this rebel alliance.
Nicholas Burns, always great to have your insight. Thanks for joining us this morning.